Silver the Hedgehog could appear in the next Sonic 3 movie. This character from the Sonic games, shows, and comics could totally shake up the Sonic cinematic universe. Silver is the time-traveling hedgehog from the future. This guy's mission is always about stopping disasters before they happen. With his telekinetic powers, he's a force to be reckoned with. Imagine him showing up in the next film, trying to stop something huge from going down, and clashing with Sonic before they inevitably team up against Shadow. Classic, right? Now we know there could be Chaos Emeralds in the next Sonic movie, so another character we could expect to see is Rouge the Bat. If you're into anti-heroes, Rouge the Bat could be your new favorite. She's a treasure hunter, a spy, and always playing both sides. She could bring a cool, unpredictable vibe to the franchise, helping both Sonic and the villains whenever it suits her. Plus, she's always after the Chaos Emeralds, so expect her to stir up some trouble. So who would you like to make an appearance in the future Sonic films? Here's a wild theory for Sonic 3. What if Robotnik betrays Team Sonic in the name of helping them? Shocker, right? We all know Dr. Robotnik, or Eggman, is always up to no good. And after being the main baddie in the first two movies, it looks like Team Sonic actually turns to him for help in Sonic 3. What could possibly go wrong? Spoiler? A lot. He'll probably play nice, just long enough to backstab them at the worst possible moment. What do you guys think? Do you trust this guy?
Let's do this!
What do you think about Sonic finally having a love interest in the Sonic movie franchise? Yes, one of the characters fans are dying to see in Sonic 3 and beyond is Amy Rose.
Yes!
First up, Amy Rose is Sonic's potential love interest and a classic character. If she joins the movies, expect her to bring both romance and action. Amy's not just Sonic obsessed, she's a powerhouse with her iconic Pico Pico hammer. Fans love her for her bold personality and the energy she could bring alongside Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles. Plus, her dynamic with other serious characters like Shadow could be a lot of fun.
In here.
Yeah, in my lungs.
Or your heart.
Will Shadow die in Sonic 3? Now, what will be Shadow's possible storyline? Let's look at three possibilities. In the game, Shadow has a tragic backstory. He was created to be the ultimate life form, but is haunted by loss and revenge. If the movie stays true to this, we might see a final battle where Shadow loses his life. But if the movie wants to leave the door open for future sequels, we might get a different ending, which is Shadow surviving, which is more likely to happen. If Shadow doesn't die, it could mean big things for the franchise. Shadow's got a ton of depth, and future movies could dive into his conflict separately, especially if he's tied to even bigger villains, like Black Doom. So yeah, there's a lot of story potential if they keep him around. Now, what if Shadow joins Team Sonic? There's a good chance we'll see Shadow shift from being a rival to working alongside Sonic, much like what happened with Knuckles. But knowing Shadow, he'll be the lone wolf type, helping out when necessary but not fully buddy-buddy with the team. What do you guys think?
Let's do this!
Will Sonic be leaving Green Hills? Green Hills has been Sonic's home, but with the crew growing, Tails, Knuckles, and maybe Shadow joining the team by the end of the movie, things could change. Sonic might need to head out for bigger adventures, possibly leading to new settings and iconic characters, like Amy Rose or Metal Sonic. The excitement is real for Sonic 3, and it's looking like an action-packed roller coaster. Whether we'll see betrayal, redemption, or Shadow sticking around for future chaos, it's safe to say this next chapter is gonna be epic. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on more Sonic content. Thanks for watching! Isn't Shadow just too OP for humans to handle? So in the trailer, we see Shadow bursting out of his stasis pod and just absolutely wrecking gun agents left and right. It's so bad that Commander Walters has to call in Sonic and the squad to help. Like, regular weapons don't stand a chance against this immortal supercharged hedgehog. Basically, we get to watch Shadow go full beast mode, smashing through the very organization that probably messed him up in the first place. Dude's teleporting all over the place, taking out whole teams without breaking a sweat. And the wild part? He's doing all this right after waking up. We don't even know if he's using a Chaos Emerald yet, like he does in the games. But man, this is going to be fun to watch. Why Shadow the Hedgehog is way stronger than Team Sonic in Sonic 3. It looks like Shadow is on a whole different level compared to Sonic and his crew in Sonic the Hedgehog 3. And it's not just because he's brooding and has that cool vibe. He's got some insane powers. The movie trailer gives us a peek at Shadow totally owning Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails in battle. The big reason? Shadow's got Chaos Control, a power that lets him teleport and move crazy fast. He's literally jumping all over the place, catching everyone off guard, and it's because of this one ability. In the games, Chaos Control messes with time and space, not just speed, which makes him extra dangerous, especially against Sonic, who's all about speed. Shadow can already use this ability without needing the Chaos Emeralds, which is a bit different for the games. But it makes the movie even more exciting because it sets up Shadow as a legit threat right from the start. This change makes Shadow a much bigger problem for Team Sonic, and it's gonna take more than just Sonic's speed to stop him. Sonic 3 could break this franchise tradition. So if you've seen the recent Sonic 3 trailer, you probably noticed it's got a completely different vibe from the first two movies. The Sonic movies have always been fun and super kid-friendly, but it looks like this third one is about to shake things up, and it's all thanks to Shadow. Remember how the post-credits scene in Sonic 2 teased Shadow's arrival? Well, he's here, and he's about to make things way more serious. Unlike Knuckles, who turned out to be more comic relief, Shadow comes with some dark and heavy backstory. He's a total beast, pushing Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles to their limits physically and emotionally. The stakes have definitely been raised, and it's clear the the movie isn't holding back. With the storyline getting darker, it really feels like Sonic 3 might need to break the mold and go for a PG-13 rating. I mean, let's be real, a PG rating probably won't do Shadow's story justice. If they go full PG-13, it could be a sign the franchise is evolving and maturing, which could be super exciting for longtime fans. Anyway, I can't wait to see how this all plays out. What do you guys think? Will Sonic 3 be the first PG-13 movie in the series? Let us know in the comments below. So what's Shadow's story? Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is already looking like a major win with the way it's using Keanu Reeves as Shadow. From their trailer alone, you can tell they're sticking to Shadow's classic vibe from the games, and fans are loving it. The Sonic movies have been a hit, bringing us a fun mix of action and comedy centered around Sonic, his buddy Tom, and the villain is Dr. Robotnik. But this time things get serious with the introduction of Shadow, who's motivated by revenge, making the stakes higher than ever. In the new movie, Shadow's backstory lines up with the games. He was created by Dr. Robotnik's grandpa, Gerald, as part of a project to unlock immortality and save his granddaughter Maria. When Maria dies, Shadow's whole world shifts and he's driven by vengeance. Just like in the game, Sonic 3 doesn't need Shadow to talk much. His tragic story and actions speak louder than words. Reeves is perfect for this role, bringing the same quiet but intense energy he's known for. Like John Wick, the movie nails Shadow's intimidating presence, keeping his lines short and powerful, letting his actions do the talking. Shadow's depth and complexity make him more than just another villain, setting him up to be one of the franchise's best bad guys. In Sonic 3, it looks like they're really diving into the emotional side of Sonic and Shadow's stories. In the live-action series, we already know Sonic's got a pretty tough past. Remember how in the first movie, he had to leave his home and Longclaw sent him away for his own safety? Well, Shadow's backstory in the games is just as tragic, and it seems like the movie is sticking close to that. The latest trailer shows Sonic thinking about his past, and you even catch some cute chalk drawings of him and Longclaw. Plus, Tom, James Marsden, gives Sonic some solid advice, telling him not to let his heart break define who he is. Meanwhile, Commander Walters, played by Tom Butler, straight up compares Sonic and Shadow, saying Sonic was lucky to find friends and family, while Shadow, well, he's all alone.
Where you found family and friends, Shadow found only pain and loss.
It's setting the stage for a pretty intense showdown between the two.
I love it.
Sonic fans, buckle up. The director of Sonic the Hedgehog 3, Jeff Fowler, just shared a personal story that'll hit home for any die-hard Sonic fan. The upcoming movie introduces the much-anticipated Shadow the Hedgehog, voiced by Keanu Reeves, and for Fowler, this is a big deal. He recently took to Twitter to reveal that his journey with Shadow started way back when he worked on the CGI cutscenes for the 2005 Shadow the Hedgehog game. Imagine working on Shadow's origins in gaming and then being able to bring him to life on the big screen. Talk about coming full circle. In the first trailer, Shadow is front and center, and we're seeing some deep-cut references to his backstory. There's a chance the movie will pull from Sonic Adventure 2 and Shadow the Hedgehog, so get ready for a mix of nostalgia and new surprises. And yes, it looks like Sonic and his crew might need to team up with Dr. Robotnik again to handle this new threat. Fowler's excitement is contagious, and it's clear that this project means a lot to him. With Shadow's big screen debut, fans of the early 2000s Sonic era have a lot to look forward to when Sonic 3 hits theaters this December. The first trailer for Sonic the Hedgehog 3 dropped, and things are looking a bit darker than we expected. There's a big theory going around that Tom, Sonic's human buddy, might not make it through this one. The trailer shows Tom in some pretty rough situations, like lying on the ground, looking hurt, or maybe even captured. Plus, there's a shot of Shadow the Hedgehog breaking out of Prison Island, which has fans worried Tom could get caught in the crossfire. If Tom really bites the dust, it could lead to Sonic going through a major transformation, possibly into Dark Sonic. For those who don't know, Dark Sonic is a form Sonic takes when he's consumed by anger, first seen in the Sonic X anime. He's got a darker look, more power, and is way more dangerous, even to his friends. This twist could turn Sonic 3 into a much more intense movie, with Sonic battling not just Shadow, but also his darker side. And if Dark Sonic does show up, it might mean Chaos energy is coming back into play too. So we could be in for a wild ride with Sonic and Shadow possibly teaming up in the end to take down this darker version of Sonic. What do you think?
I love it. Let's start with a giant fireball.
Sonic 3 trailer proves how one big decision saves a franchise. The new Sonic the Hedgehog 3 trailer has fans buzzing, and it's a great reminder of how one key choice turned the franchise around. The movie, dropping in a few months, promises to dive deeper into Sonic lore, especially with the introduction of Shadow the Hedgehog, voiced by none other than Keanu Reeves. With Sonic 2 already winning over audiences by bringing in Knuckles and Tails, Sonic 3 is set to level up even more. But let's not forget where it all started. Remember when the first Sonic movie nearly crashed and burned due to that awful initial design, famously known as the Ugly Sonic? The outcry from fans was so loud that the filmmakers had no choice but to go back to the drawing board, delaying the release but saving the movie in the process. If they hadn't listened, we wouldn't be here today, hyped for the third installment of what's becoming a surprisingly successful series. Imagine if that original Sonic design had stuck around. Knuckles, Tails, and especially Shadow would have been downright bizarre, but because the creators were willing to listen and make changes, Sonic has become a franchise to watch, with endless possibilities for future stories.
But you didn't change who you are in here.
Yeah, in my lungs.
or your heart?
Sonic the Hedgehog 3 trailer just dropped, and there's a lot to unpack, especially for fans of the Sega Dreamcast days. If you were into Sonic Adventure 2, you are in for a treat. At the 228 mark, there's a super cool Easter egg, a Chaw Garden-themed restaurant. And guess what? Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles are chilling there alongside Commander Walters from G.U.N. Yep, he's back. For those who don't know, Chaw are these adorable virtual pets for the Sonic Adventure games. They were a massive hit back in the day, and while we haven't seen a Chaw Garden in recent games, this cameo shows Sega hasn't forgotten about them. But the surprises don't end there. The movie seems to be leaning heavily into the Dreamcast era, especially with Shadow's storyline from Sonic Adventure 2. We see Maria Robotnik and even get a glimpse of Gerald Robotnik, key players in Shadow's backstory. Overall, it looks like Sonic 3 is going to be packed with fan service for longtime Sega fans. Can't wait to see how it all plays out.
Welcome home, my boy.
It's impossible.
Is it?
It couldn't be.
Couldn't it?
I am.
Are you? In the saggy flesh.